Yep, just really proud of the guys, really proud of the staff. There was no give up on that sideline. Those guys believed, and I told them before the game, the reason we were going to win this one is because the relationships in that room between the players and coaches. We got a bunch of winners over there, and just really, really proud of those guys. Give a lot of credit to Monroe. They had a really good game plan, and they came out and played hard. I told the guys all week this was going to be our Super Bowl, and we found a way to win. When you're that beat up, and the way we were, to win a game like that is huge. Just really proud of our guys and proud of our coaches. Question.
You know, obviously the end result is something you're pleased with, but to get to that point where you had to be a last-minute touchdown, well, how did it get there? How did it get to the point where it had to be a comeback for the Bobcats?
Yeah, they're a good team, and you could see that on film. You know, the way they played App State, the way they beat Army. I mean, that was a quality team with really good coaches. Those guys have coached a game or two over there. They get paid as well, and those guys played hard. They believed they could come in here and win, and I knew it was going to be a shootout, not necessarily a shootout, but a dogfight. And just really proud of our guys for the way they responded, and just a lot of belief. And that's one of those victories that's going to be huge for this program going forward. It really is. You can feel the momentum, and in a game like that, it doesn't matter how you win, as long as you win. So I was really proud of them.
You ran the ball a lot more than you passed this week. You did the same deal last week. What was it this week? Was it just the game plan? Was ULM giving you something? Was there something going on with Finley? Was he a little banged up? Seemed like we saw him limping, or
no,
what was going on there?
It was they're going to play a light box. That's what teams have done to us the last couple of weeks. Most of them are playing the three high safeties and basically playing prevent and daring us to run the ball, and we got to be able to run it. And same thing as last week. You got to be able to score touchdowns in the red zone. Good thing we have the bye week coming up, and we can get and do a big self-scout and fix that. But we got the players to do it. We got the coaches to do it, and hopefully we get healthy over this bye.
Yeah, you mentioned the bye week. Speaking of players that need to be healthy, Mahdi went out there, still had a bunch of carries. We saw the cast on him. How was he doing out there? Was he in pain while he was playing, or how do you think?
That guy's a warrior. Didn't know if he was going to be able to play or not, and man, just so proud of him. And we had a bunch of guys like that. It wasn't just Mahdi, and for him to go out there, and then you lose a couple of your other backs during the game. And a guy that really stood out to me was Denario. You know, when his number was called late in the game, he made something happen and ran the ball really hard, and so really proud of him. And it's tough when you're going in and out of the game and you're starter, then you're the third string. It's tough. And so we didn't know if Ish was going to play this week, so we were rotating a bunch of guys. You saw Malik go in there, running back. So our identities are we're a run play action team. The guys are going to be lighting the box. We're going to run the ball.
You know, Coach, ULM gets that big pick six, and y'all are trailing 20-9. Just kind of going over like what that sideline, what that huddle after that pick six was like. Yeah,
just for me, it felt very similar to kind of like last week, Lafayette. You know, we go up on them, but there was no doubt on our sideline. I thought TJ after that pick six, he kind of let loose and play. You know what I'm saying? He started scrambling, trying to run people over. I was like, that's what we got. You only got so many games. You know, you got to let it loose and go play. So I was proud of him, too, the way he was able to respond and rebound. That's hard to do as a quarterback. You throw a pick six in front of that crowd, everyone's counting on you, and for you to be able to go back in the game and go down in there and score a couple of touchdowns, that's huge. So really proud of TJ, really proud of our coaches. We had O-lineman beat up. We had, Trent didn't know if he was going to be able to play all week. Our left tackle, and with obviously Nash already down, so we were moving guys around. We had a couple of different O-line lineups, so this was a gritty performance by the whole team.
You know, you mentioned earlier this week that ULM, they present a number of different fronts and kind of give you the offense trouble. What adjustments you had, especially in that second half, to kind of get over that hump against that Warhawk defense?
Really, it was execution and penalties that got us. You know, we were driving the ball, and then we get a hold or something, and then we get to convert the first down. They call it offensive pass interference. You know, it was just kind of one of those games. It's when you get out of the rhythm like that, it's tough. So we found a way, though, and that's all that matters.
the defense coming up very big in those final 2 drives. Just what about the defense, especially in that second half?
Yeah, there's no doubt. Defense came to play tonight. I think they kind of, felt like their backs were against the wall. Talked about, third downs. I thought we were a lot better on third downs. That quarterback, once again, could run the ball very well. They had a good offensive line, a couple good receivers. So for us to come out there and play the way we did on defense, that was very promising. And you can build some momentum off that one on defense.
You got some guys back today, Fox, Revels, Corrales, but there's some other guys missing, like Josh Eaton at corner.
Yeah.
Saw Dan Foster look like he left the game.
Yeah.
You just mentioned how much you need that bye, but how many of those guys went down tonight? And
Josh was a game time decision. He didn't practice all week. Dan didn't practice all week. And so they both tried to go out there. It just, your body didn't allow them. So.
Coach, back on the defense, on the goal line, two big plays there at the goal. How huge was that for you guys, and did that kind of, you think, got the team started or going?
Yeah, goal line stand, that was unbelievable. Our defense, man, they came to play. That's a tough defense, and give a lot of credit to our defensive staff for having these guys prepared. I think it says a lot about you when they tried to draw us off sides on 4th down. That was their way to. We stuffed them a couple of times, and that was their plan on 4th and inches. So that's a good feeling.
And Coach, you talked about it, the lack of rhythm throughout the whole game on offense to those last 2 drives. How much more important is this win than knowing that you kind of squeezed it out, when you didn't play as well as you wanted to?
Yeah, no doubt. To be able to squeeze one out like this at home, be able to get that 5th win is huge. It doesn't matter. I told the staff all week, didn't necessarily tell the players. I said, it doesn't matter if we win 3-0, 10-7, doesn't matter. We just got to go out there and find a way to win.
And I'm just curious, how were you able to utilize those 2 injury timeouts on that last drive?
The what?
Those 2 injury timeouts that ULM, the players got hurt, so y'all huddled up, and so how were you able to utilize that?
A little time to talk about the situation, and I thought we had a good plan to be able to execute that. We had to make sure we spied the quarterback. We had to spy on the first one when he broke. They just did, the offensive line did a good job of getting up to the spy guy, but defense played well. They had a good plan there at the end. There was no panic. That's what I like. There was no panic on the sidelines, and a lot of credit to the defense for flying around there and getting that stop.
And then on the offensive last drive, 2 ULM players went down. Y'all were able to regroup. How were you able to use that time?
Yeah, it's always good. We were able to drop a play on the sideline. Another one of those plays on the sideline. Drew it up, scored a touchdown.
And I just got to ask about Joey's effort tonight. Continues to have that relationship with TJ. Yeah. I know we talked about it earlier this week, and so just what do you say about his performance?
Yeah, the guy is he's a warrior, man. He comes out and plays, gives his all every day at practice, and you can count on him in the big games and the big moments, and just really glad we got him, and just really proud of him.
Great game by Joey, obviously, but Cole Wilson too. Also had great games, great season too. Joey, him too. You talk about just like that talent rising. People were talking about, can this translate that sort of effort level from the FCS to the FBS?
Yeah, Cole's a stud, and we put him back there on a couple kickoff returns because we really needed a spark, and he's another guy that go out there every day at practice and give it all. I thought Ashton, even though he had a couple drops there, we got a lot of belief in him. He's one of the top receivers in the country for a reason, and made a couple big time catches when we needed him. So really proud of him as well.
How you doing, Coach? Oh yeah, that tempo in the first 3 quarters, it looks like you guys couldn't get it going. Was there a communication issue with TJ and the coaches? Because it seemed like you guys made a check, they made a check, and wasn't fast enough to snap the ball.
Yeah,
but you guys did
some of it was kind of by design. We kind of wanted to look what kind of defense they were running because, like I said, all week they show so many different defensive looks, so we wanted to get us in the right call, and I thought that really helped us. Probably helped the defense too, kind of slowing it down a little bit, and I thought we made some good calls there.
Yeah, we got started rolling, and you guys could have stopped them.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
What does it say about this team to kind of do what happened to you last week?
Man, I was as a head coach. That's always a scary one, right? So you don't want to get beat twice by Lafayette. So for our guys to be able to finish the way they did, to face that adversity and overcome that adversity. I think it talks a lot about their character and the way we train and their discipline and their belief and their teammates and their coaches. So, man, that was an emotional win for sure.
And then over 27,000 people here tonight. Kind of what does that crowd do for the football team, especially in those moments late?
I'm glad you brought that up. The crowd was amazing. The student section was amazing. You could feel it when we started going that we were going to win that game, and a lot of it because of the crowd. So really appreciate that, and we're going to need it again after the bye.
You know, Coach, the first 5-win season for this program since 2013, you know, not only was it important to get this win heading to the bye, but what does it mean to getting that 5th season and for a program that's kind of been struggling to get that 5th win?
It was huge. I talked about it all week. This is the dang Super Bowl. We let one slip away from us last week. And the big picture things, this game was the most important game of the season, obviously because it was the next one. But in the big picture, it was huge for us.
Coach, how do you keep these guys hungry? I mean, they're 1 away from being bowl eligible, you know, and that's something around here that, you know, we know hasn't happened.
Yeah.
Last time they got there, they still didn't get in, but, you know, what does that mean to you guys to be a step closer to that?
I think you look at the schedule, and our guys are going to be hungry. The biggest thing for me is we're going to come in here on Sunday, watch the film, run and lift, and put this one to bed. We got a bye week coming up. We got to get healthy and do a big self-scout and get ready for Troy.
Yeah, Coach, I'm just curious. I know you mentioned earlier how you drew up that play on the sidelines. What did you see to kind of know that play was going to work?
Just the defense they were going to be in, and we talked about it on the sideline, and Joey made a big-time play, and credit to TJ sitting there in the pocket and delivering the ball.